told the Assembly a short while ago that a globe in which 1% of humanity controls as much wealth as the other 99% will never be stable. He says capitalism doesn't succeed when it's unfettered, but when there is less inequality. Of course, President Jacob Zuma also attending the gatherings in New York this week. Our correspondent at the UN, Sherwin Bryce-Pease, now joins us live from New York. Sherwin, it wasn't only President Barack Obama speaking, but also at the UN, Ban Ki-moon, the man we've come to associate with the UN and who will be leaving soon. What's he had to say?
Well, two farewell speeches, Francis, in many ways, and I'll touch a little bit about on President Barack Obama, who really spoke about the contest between authoritarianism and the contest with liberalism, of course, talking about touting and espousing American values, that he believes in free speech, free protest, that you do not imprison your critics, and says that he's very much on the side of the liberalism side of that argument. And then, of course, a very forceful speech from the outgoing Secretary General of these United Nations, the mild-mannered South Korean diplomat that often doesn't like to offend, but in this instance really using some very tough language, calling, for example, those responsible for the bombing of a UN humanitarian convoy that was taking supplies into Aleppo, Syria, for the very first time in many, many months, calling those perpetrators cowards. He also spoke about the absolute madness that has come to really describe the lack of progress in the Palestinian and Israeli peace negotiations. He called it a lost decade of peace. And he also had very tough words for leaders who, Francis, want to cling onto power. I'll just read a short excerpt. My message to all is clear. Serve your people. Do not subvert democracy. Do not pull for your country's resources. Do not torture and imprison your critics. So tough words from the outgoing Secretary General, maybe flexing his muscles, knowing that he only has a few more months to go.
All right, thank you very much. Live from New York, our correspondent at the UN, Sherwin Bryce-Pease.